What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Realistic Rumour of the Wrexham. This is episode number 48, and as you can see there, we're going to round off the month of November playing Millwall, Ipswich and Bristol City, as well as Huddersfield. We're playing 4 games an episode now. We're finding a little bit of form. We only won one game in our last 4 in last episode. 2 draws and a defeat, but we're still going well. 9th in the table right now after 16 games, 24 points, 3 points adrift of the playoffs. As you know, the board's objectives was to finish mid-table. My personal objective was just not to get relegated. So we'll see how we crack on today with some difficult games. Of course, in the last episode as well, we lost Will Fish to a 3-month injury. And we also agreed sales of Brown and Smithies, who will leave in January. So a bit of money coming in. And I just want to say as well, so in the last episode, I asked if you guys are happy with the 4 game episodes, if that's what you would like to see in the future. And the responses were great. You know, thank you to Calvin, James, and Dude It Smiles for your responses. You all basically said, yes, play 4 games an episode. The more content, the better. So I really appreciate the feedback there. And James's comment we'll actually get back to later on in the episode, because he makes a really good point about the youth academy. So we'll get back to that. But thank you for commenting. I always love reading the comments, and I always try and get you guys to interact or ask you a question or an opinion, because as much as this is my career mode, it's all of our career modes, and I love getting your opinions and your says on how the save is going, how the team's going, if we can improve stuff. So keep them coming, keep the comments coming. I love featuring them in the episodes as well. And yeah, let's move into the first of 4 games today. It is Millwall at the Den. 2 changes from the side that drew in the last game against Bolton. Hayden back in and captain as Will Fish is injured. And Brown is on international duty, as well as Cyrus Christie. So Mason Guest is in at right back and Ryan Morris is on the bench. Well, after a good early save from Fotheringham, we would take the lead here. Elliot Lee with a really impressive finish. Has Lee been our player of the season so far? Potentially. A great finish here from Lee as Mullin cuts it back to him, but he has to lean back to get it, and it's a really nice cultured finish into the far corner as Lee grabs his 4th league goal of the season. Well, there were talks at the start of the season of whether he would be up to this standard, but you guys said that I should keep him in the side, so I did, and he has been fantastic. And then you would have seen in the last highlight a brilliant tackle from Hayden coming back into the side. There were question marks of whether there'd be some cobwebs, but the captain puts in a brilliant goal-saving tackle. As Fotheringham made another big save as well. Millwall were definitely the side on top here in this championship clash. But you know what? We managed to hold them out until, in the 94th minute. Now they've got a corner. Keeper's up for it. They get it back in. Can we get it cleared? It's blocked. Is that going to be full time? Yes, it is. So we managed to scrape a 1-0 win. Yeah, probably undeserved. Millwall were definitely the better of the 2 sides. They created plenty more chances, but we were clinical when it came to it. Mullin grabbing an assist. Elliot Lee grabbing his 4th league goal of the season. And that is another victory for us, which, we keep plugging away with these victories. We talk about this 50% win ratio, and we're sort of keeping at that standard right now. I'm really happy that we've got such a healthy gap over the relegation zone. As you can see there, we're now up to 8th, just 3 points behind Luton in 6th place. So potentially could be making playoffs, who knows? As we said, we have a very healthy gap over the teams in the relegation zone. Well, Brescia would come in for a loan off of Samuel Mason, but I want to keep him in England, so we reject that. Another bid for Lee Morris, who I'm looking to sell, but we have not had one single realistic destination for him yet. And then we get the youth scout report from Stephen Carlson in England, and Jesse Smart we promote to the youth academy. Dexter Nicholson and Archie Franklin will continue to scout. And then, so going back to James's comment, he said, promote the best youth academy prospects, 80 plus potential, and send them out on loan. The others give them 6 months to a year on loan and then sell them. So I'm going to promote a bunch of players here as we go through the youth academy here. It's pretty bulky. There's not too many superstars. We're still waiting for Dexter Heath's position change to come through. I still think he's probably going to be our best potential player, but there are plenty of players who I can promote, and so we will do. Starting off with Connor Mills, the striker, Aidan Harrison, Ed Wright, I think I'm actually going to let go, but Curtis Griffiths, who we got from the latest Welsh Scout report in the last episode, so he will be promoted. Ryan Richards, the Welsh defender as well, Jesse Smart, who we just promoted. Obviously, you can promote players from 16 and above, so Dare Healy will join them as well. Barry McCormick, I think I'm going to let go, as well as Brendan Mullen. So we promote, I think it was 5 players in the end who we'll send out on loan. We released 3 players, 2 of them being goalies and then 1 right winger. I just don't think their overalls don't look like they're going to be able to break into the team and be anything special. So, as we said, Dexter Heath, I think once we get that position change, clearly not a striker, with converting him to a CDM, I think he's going to be an absolute star. So we put all those players up for the loan list. And James, thank you again for that comment. I really, really appreciate it. And keep them coming, man. Keep the comments coming. I'm welcome to suggestions. We do still have one more scout available. So with the player sales in January, we might have a budget to send one of the scouts out. So let me know in the comments, where should we send our final scout? We have one in Wales and one in England, but let me know where we should send the third one. Well, into the second game of the episode, and it would be Ipswich. Away from home, 19th right now, Ipswich, 4 points above the drop zone, just 3 wins from that opening 17. Well, their form is not like that in real life, is it? My word, we are seeing potentially the greatest championship title race ever. It was 4 teams. Southampton have dropped off a little bit, although they have got a couple games in hand. But Leeds, Leicester and Ipswich continue to be creating one of the best championship title battles ever. Ipswich, promoted last year from League One, looking to go up against the giants of Leeds and Leicester. Obviously, Leicester relegated from the Premier League last year. Leeds were there a couple years prior. But Ipswich got a massive, massive victory over Southampton at Portman Road. 2-1 down they were. They came back to win 3-2 thanks to a 96th minute winner. And at this point, you just think they're going to go up, aren't they? As we see here, sorry, just to break away from what we were talking about, Jewison Bennett was absolutely crunched by the Ipswich captain in the build-up to this goal. He stayed down injured and it didn't look good. But that tackle, I mean, off his feet, scissor motion from behind, very late. He's lucky he's still on the pitch, personally. But yeah, Jewison got injured. A crazy sequence of events there as Fotheringham made a save, a shot was blocked, and then they hit the post as well. We did grab the lead. The referee played a great advantage, and Chambers played a couple of 1-2s with Mullen before Mullen whipped a beautiful goal into the back of the net. Ipswich would equalise, though, their youngster Broadhead getting on the score sheet. But yeah, going back to Ipswich in real life, it's such a great story. You know, obviously Leicester and Leeds and Southampton were all favourites to be competing for the title, but a side like Ipswich, you know, they're old school Prem. You know, they were there in the 90s, and I hope they go up now. You know, it's got such a good feel-good factor about them, and yeah, big up Ipswich right now. But in the game, struggling, although they would take the lead of this game. And how many times have we seen this happen to us? The striker has a shot, Fotheringham saves it, it bounces back off the striker into practically an empty net. I'm not actually sure if the goal is Hurst or if it was the player diving in on the line, but that's happened to us at least 3 times this season. It's really unfortunate. Seems to bounce off his arm, actually. But Ipswich would take the lead from being a goal down, and you can see my disappointment there. We did also sub off Bennett at halftime, by the way. Vata coming on in his place. Well, with 13 minutes to go, Brown wins the ball back, plays Lowry out on the wing. He finds Paul Mullen. Can Wrexham find an equaliser here? Lowry out wide to Alan Brown. Is he going to hit this? He is! Alan Brown! Oh my word, what a finish. What an equaliser. And we are tied here at Portman Road 2-2. Alan Brown. I think that's 2 episodes in a row he's scored now. My word, where was this form when we wanted to sell him, for God's sake? Well, maybe wouldn't have sold him if he was picking out balls into the back of the net like that every week. My God. Great finish from Alan Brown, and Ipswich with the late corner, but is headed clear. And this one would end 2-2. Disappointing, potentially. We did lead, and to play a side who are struggling in the league right now, but it's a decent point. We'll take it considering the late-ish equaliser from Brown. Really good resolve shown from the team there. Now, the big news is to find out how bad Jewison Bennett's injury. We lost Fish in the last episode. We lost Evans a couple episodes ago. Obviously, Tom Bradshaw has been out. We haven't seen Bradshaw since the playoffs last year. How bad is the Jewison Bennett injury? Oh, it's another broken toe. 3 months Bennett's out for. that's a nightmare, because I know we were speaking about Elliot Lee potentially being our player of the season so far. Jewison Bennett has been fantastic as well, and that's 3 broken toes. I mean, not on all of the same player, but Bennett, Fish and Evans all suffering from broken toes, all out for 3 months, and that's going to be a big loss. We're going to have to shuffle the team around now. Some players like Lowry and Roberts will probably get back into the side, but it's good. I for those of you that don't know, I actually do put the injury sliders up, the frequency and severity, because I feel like if you keep it on 50, which is what it normally is, the realism just isn't great. You don't get too many injuries, and it's realistic for a club to get injuries throughout a season. So as frustrating as it is, I do enjoy it as well, because it poses a challenge, and that's exactly what we're going to have to face now, with a couple of key players out for a couple months at least. Well, heading into the third game of the episode, it would be Bristol City, the Robins, who are second bottom right now, struggling in the lead. We would welcome them to the racecourse ground. We made 7 changes, plenty of changes for this one, including rare starts for Tom Williams and Ryan Morris, and Patrick Roberts is back in the starting line up as well. With Bennett now out, we need Roberts to step up for the next few months. Elsewhere, Devine, Mendy, Hayden and Guest all come in, but it would be the visitors who would take an early lead. Ollie Thomas, making his debut for Bristol City, would grab the opening goal in this one against the run of play in the early stages, and the visitors would be looking for a surprise 3 points. Well, Tom Williams would have a great chance to equalise, but his curling effort went wide. Williams was fantastic in the early stages when we brought him in from the free agency market. Recently, though, when we've been playing him, I haven't seen too much of him, which is a bit of a concern. I know he's still young and he's still developing, so I don't want to put too much pressure on him. But for now, I want to see a bit more from Williams as, well, in injury time in the first half, someone's gone down. I think that might be Paul Mullin. We're just talking about how important Tom Williams could be, how much we need him to step up. We might need him to step up even more if that's another injury. As we see the replay there, what happened to Mullin, it looked a bit of an odd one there. Maybe he stubbed his toe, I'm not sure. Hopefully it's not a broken toe. We do actually sub him off at half time, and well, ball given away here in the second half. Bristol City with a chance to wrap it up with 9 minutes to go. Not many highlights in this one. After that chance, we do sub on Elliot Lee. Can Lee create something to stop this potential upset? Lee into Williams, immediately involved. Lee! Oh my God, I should have squared it. As the Bristol City players surround the keeper. They're gassed with that save, and I'm not surprised. It was a huge one, a potential 3 points saved right there by O'Leary. It kind of just hits his arm. I went for the shot, but I should have squared it, and well, perhaps that was a mistake. Are we going to get one final chance? Lowry to Brown. Brown, he's been in the goals recently. He drives into the box, but he looks to square it. And can we keep it alive? Bristol City get it away. We're past the allotted time, and the referee blows full time there. Wow, what an upset. At home, a big defeat, and it's boos from the home end as Bristol City claim a huge 3 points in their battle for survival. But for us, that's a massive defeat. And that is no wins in 2 now after that good win away at Millwall. Tough defeat that. I know we made wholesale changes, but we definitely should have. We were definitely still the favourites for that one. Disappointed, but those results definitely happen. Now to find out what the injury concern is with Mullin. Okay, it was just a bruised shoulder. We've got off with one there. It's just a 5-dayer, thankfully. That could have been dangerous. If we had lost Mullin as well as Bennett and Evans and Fish, we would have been in a world of trouble. But luckily, it's just a 5-dayer, so I think he actually should be fit for the Huddersfield game. Well, we dropped to 10th with that shock defeat. 28 points, 4 points adrift of Coventry. Still going strong though, 8 wins from our first 19. We are looking good right now. Potentially could make playoffs. What do you reckon, guys? As we'll see there, we'll face Huddersfield in the 4th and final game of the episode as Mullin comes to us and says, look, boss, I'm fit and ready to fire against Huddersfield. Well, Mullin, you will be in the team. As Tom Williams says, look, I know Mullin's injured. Put me in there, coach. Well, you missed a couple of good chances in the last game, Tom. Maybe I can't trust on you as much as I thought. Well, into the 4th and final game of the episode, it would be Huddersfield away at the John Smith Stadium. We're looking to avoid a 3rd successive game without a defeat. Hopefully, we can change our fortunes here. facing a side who are 21st right now, above the drop zone by a point. They are above Bristol City, who of course beat us in the last game. Lowry, Vatter, Lee and Christie all back in the starting lineup. It's a much stronger lineup, but still, that team in the last game should have been good enough to beat Bristol City at home, I'm sorry. So let's see if we can end on a high here, away at Huddersfield. Come on, Wrexham, let's get this victory in. Well, Paul Mullin fit enough to start, and yeah, guys, let me know. Obviously, don't forget, we are at the end of each season now. We are going to do player awards, so player of the season, young player of the season, and signer of the season. So make sure you're keeping an eye out on which players are impressing you during the season. Well, we would almost take an early lead through one of the players of the season so far, Elliot Lee. Really nice flowing one-touch football from the boys. Cross comes in to Elliot Lee, who chests it down, but his volley is straight down the keeper's throat. That would have been a beautiful goal, to be honest, and it's nice to see as Vatter comes in with a diving kick. It is saved and cleared out. Mendy, though, looking to recycle it. Here's Elliot Lee, looking to work it down the wing. Can't escape his man, though. Elliot Lee plays it back to Lowry. Lowry into Alfie Devine. Nice first touch. Ooh! This kid, man, Alfie Devine, we picked him up for 3 million, the former Tottenham midfielder. Now he was plying his trade in France with Lille. We said, Alfie, let's bring you back to England. And he has been shining, especially recently. The goals have been flowing. That is his 5th of the season, and it is a beauty. First touch, taking it on the turn. Keeper gets a hand to it, but he can't stop it going into the top corner. And that's a great finish, and it's a great response. It's been a really good opening half an hour or so from the boys. After a really disappointing result against Bristol City, the boys are looking to respond here, and we're looking to, and they're playing well so far, and they deserve their lead. Now, a great chance for Paul Mullin on the hour mark, but unlike him, he just couldn't finish it. He sort of held up as he got to the goal, and the keeper made a good save, and then, well, we almost see that lethal combination, Mendy and Mullin, M&M, as we may now call them. They almost link up, but the keeper makes a great save. And then from the resulting corner, Cyrus Christie popping up with a header, forcing the keeper into another save. And then Josh Earl gets on the end of this one, but the keeper makes another save. Huddersfield's keeper keeping them in the game right now as we look to seal the 3 points. Elliot Lee out to Vatter. Vatter finds Lowry. Great first touch. Decent second touch. It's almost in the far corner. I tell you what, we may only be leading by a point, but this game has been a really good response from the boys. Great response, and the referee will blow full time there. We round off the episode with a 1-0 victory. Great result and great performance as well after a disappointing loss to Bristol City. That's how I want us to respond, because we know how important form is in FC24. So it's important that you kill those ruts quickly. And after no victories, in 2 games, we end the episode with a 1-0 win. Exactly how we started it. 1-0 away win at Millwall. We end it with a 1-0 away win at Huddersfield. As we see our Welsh scout report coming through, 7 or 8 players we're going to continue to scout as they look decent. Obviously our youth academy is. We've emptied it now as we promoted a bunch of them. Hopefully those players will be going out on loan. But that'll be it for today's episode, guys. Episode 48. Thank you so much for the comments. Like I said, keep those comments coming. Who's been your player of the season so far? What should we do now? Bennett's injured. Should we bring Roberts in? Should we start Lowry out wide? Let me know in the comments, guys, and let me know where you think we should send that scout as well, because we're going to have some money coming in January, so we can potentially send a scout out in January. As we see the table there, Sheffield United and Southampton leading the way. We're in 9th. I'm happy with how we're doing. We may be adrift of the playoffs right now, but we're ahead of the relegation zone, and that is priority for me. Well, if you're enjoying the series, drop a like on this video, sub to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in episode 49 very soon.